welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to do a simple but easy holiday makeup look, maybe doing something green and sparkly on the lid. I wanted to keep it simple, so I might just use like 1 or 2 shadows at the most. Nothing too crazy. I definitely want to make it a little bit glittery to go along with this shirt, but I want to keep it simple and just easy to do. So that is the plan for today. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So the palette that I'm going to be using today is the Jade and Beauty Bay collab. I did a get ready with me a couple weeks ago with this palette, and it is so good. It's really pigmented and has so many different colors. So I'm just going to show you guys the palette here. I'm really leaning towards this green shade right here, which is called Jaded. I love it, and I think it's going to be super pretty for Christmas. Just that nice green, metallic sparkly green. So I think I'm going to use that today. Like I said, I don't want to put too much product. I want it to be like simple and glam, but I don't want it to be like overwhelming. So I think I might just do that, and then maybe like a red lip. So I don't want to do too much. I definitely want it to be simple and easy, but still glam for any like holiday party that you're going to. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. As you guys know, I like to start with my eyes first in case there's like any fallout or anything like that. So I like to start with my eyes. I already put some brow gel in my brows. I definitely need to get these eyebrows done. I feel like I've been plucking them for a little bit now, like a couple months, and I feel like I just need to get them waxed and like reshaped, and then I could just keep plucking them. But excuse the bushy brows. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Morphe Fluidity concealer, and I'm just gonna put that on my eyelids to prime them. Also, excuse my crazy lashes. They're looking a little wonky. I have to wash them and like brush them again. I'm also getting them redone on Tuesday. So we're just gonna do the best we can with these lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Jaded on my finger, and I'm gonna go ahead and place that on my eyelid. I'm just gonna do it little by little. I do have eyelash extensions, so when I have eyelash extensions, I like to be really careful, especially when I use my finger and do like eye makeup. So I like to place it kind of on the lid and just get it there, and then I'll probably take a brush and kind of detail it, especially by the lash line, because I feel like it's just easier with a brush. So I'm gonna take some of that Jaded shade. And using your finger, you definitely get like the most intensity. Like this is very intense. If you want to look like a sparkly Christmas tree, this is definitely the shade for you. I'm going to take a detailed brush and just fill in any gaps. I'm also going to take it and just drag it up a little bit into the crease, just lightly, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out a little bit later. I'm going to take a blending brush and just blend out the edges. If you wanted to make it more of like an editorial look, you can definitely just keep it like sharp and like a little bit messy if you wanted to, like kind of like perfectly imperfect. But I like to just blend it out a little bit, so that way the excess like green goes into the crease. But I definitely wouldn't mind keeping it like an editorial look for something. I'm just gonna blend it out lightly on the edges here. Looking at this eyeshadow color, I don't know if I want to do red lips, just because I feel like it might be a little bit much, a little bit too Christmassy, and I already have red nails, so I feel like it kind of goes along with the Christmas vibe. But I might do like a nude lip instead. I feel like it might look a little bit better because it is a really bold eye, so I want to keep the drama on the eye instead of like the eye and then the lips. Like I feel like it would just look a little bit too crazy. So I'm probably just gonna do a nude lip with this look, but I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my brow bone. So I'm gonna take the shade Halo, which is this shade right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that under my brows. And this is definitely a bold look. I'm not one to like experiment with color all that much. I definitely try to experiment with more color just because I feel like it's fun and who really cares, but it's definitely hard for me to kind of get in the color mindset. But I really like this green color. It's definitely more like a minty green, but I like the way it looks with my brown eyes. I feel like it makes them pop a little bit. Next, I'm just going to take some black shadow that's in the palette, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of make an effect of eyeliner. I pretty much do this in every video just because I like the way it looks rather than like a harsh liner, and I'm not that good at liners, so I like to just do this for a little bit of drama. So now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and finish the eyes a little bit later once I have my concealer and my powder on and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my skin. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. No surprise here. I was going to use a different primer today. I looked through my collection, but there were some that were a little bit old that definitely need to be tossed. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my Poreless Putty Primer as always. For foundation, I'm going to go ahead and take my Milani 2-in-1 Conceal and Perfect Foundation and Concealer. This is in the shade 02 Natural. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shake that up. I feel like the shirt is a little bit too big for me, but we're going to make it work, okay? We're going to make it work. I definitely want to go a little bit heavier on the face makeup today. I just want to make sure everything is super full coverage and everything just looks nice and glam. I feel like I have a weird reaction on my forehead or something. I don't know what that is, but hopefully this will cover it. All right, so the skin is definitely looking full coverage, like full coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to concealer. I'm gonna take the same Morphe concealer that I used on my eyelids earlier. I just like to place it in the corner here and then on the outside just to give a little bit of a highlighting effect. And I do want to go a little bit heavy, like I said, because it is like a Christmas glam. It's definitely not like a hard Christmas glam to do, especially with the eyes if it's just like a one shadow type of deal. So I want to go kind of heavy on the face and make sure everything looks nice and snatched. I'm gonna go ahead and take my beauty blender to blend everything out. And also a trick that I learned to make your concealer even more full coverage is to wait after you put it on just so it sets a little bit and you don't just blend it in right away. I don't mind doing this section here first so that my under eye concealer has time to set, but if you guys are looking for a way to kind of have a little bit more coverage with your concealer, you could definitely just wait like a minute and let it set a little bit. So to set that concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Morphe Bacon Set Setting Powder in Translucent. You guys know I like my Airspun Loose Setting Powder, but I decided to switch it up today. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender and dip it into the powder and do light patting on the areas that I did put concealer. And I'm gonna let it bake for like a little bit. I'm not somebody who's usually into baking, but like I said, since it's like a Christmas glam, I kind of want to go a little bit heavy, so I'm just going to place it on all the areas that I put concealer. So we're looking full coverage, we are looking set, the base is looking really good, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to bronzer. I'm gonna take these two today. These are the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzers. This light one is Ticket to Brazil, and then this one, it's like a bit darker, it's called What Shady Beaches. So I'm gonna take both of them. I'm gonna start with this one first and then build up with the darker color. I just like to have a mix of bronzers sometimes, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with Ticket to Brazil. I'm gonna take this angled e.l.f. blush brush, but I really like to use it for bronzer just so it gets nice and blended, especially because the top part can blend above. You always want to blend above your cheekbone. So I'm gonna take some of that first. And I like to do patting motions in the beginning just so it doesn't disrupt everything underneath. So I'm just gonna take it, blending it upwards. I'm gonna put both colors around the perimeter of my face. So I'm just gonna take this light one first. I also like to do a little bit around my nose, just so this area doesn't look so flat. So I'll just take whatever's on the brush, kind of go up against the sides of my nose because I don't do nose contour. So I just take a little bit, brush it up against the sides. So it just gives like a little bit of definition and a little bit of a nice base. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Wet Shady Beaches, just the darker shade. And I'm just gonna do the same exact thing. And a little tip is when you put a little bit too much bronzer on your forehead or wherever, just like I did, I'll take some setting powder and just blend it out, just so it doesn't look like a bronzer helmet. If you guys have heard that term, it's when you put a little bit too much bronzer on the forehead. So I'm just taking some setting powder and blending that out. I feel like I did go a little ham on the bronzer, but a lot of times when I film, I feel like when I put my normal amount of makeup, it's not enough. And I really want this to pop. So I'm definitely going a little extra on the bronzer, eyeshadow, all that stuff. So I definitely want it to just pop. So next up is blush. I'm gonna take this butter blush from Physicians Formula in the shade Rosy Pink. I just wanted something light, but just to bring a little bit more life back into my face. But again, keeping the focus on the green eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, place it on my cheekbones, just a little bit. And I like to put a little bit on my nose just to give like a nice youthful look. And I'll even bring it kind of like on the sides here. So not too much blush, but just enough. So before I do my highlight, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the eyes. I wanna put some more eyeshadow on the lower lash line. I wanna make these inner corners pop, and I wanna put a little bit of bottom mascara on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the same flat brush that I used to detail and just run it under my eyes. And I like to do this very, very slowly. So I'm just gonna take my time. And next up is some bottom mascara. So I'm gonna take the Colourpop BFF Mascara, just take off any excess, and I'm gonna place that on my lower lashes. Taking that same brow bone shade, I'm gonna pop this in the inner corner. So now it is time for highlights. So I knew I needed a nice bright highlight. So I'm gonna take the Becky G and Colourpop Salvaje Collection highlight in the shade Chisme. I haven't used this in so long, and it's one of my favorite highlights ever. It is seriously like a blinding highlight. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. You only need a little bit. So I'm just gonna take about that much. If you want to shine at your holiday party, this is the highlight that you need to use. I'm gonna go ahead and mix a couple of lip liners for my nude lip. I don't have like the perfect nude combination, which I really need to find, but I'm just gonna take a couple of these. I have two from Retro Paradise, the e.l.f. collection. So these are a little bit more brown toned. And then this one is a Milani lip liner, and it's definitely more of like a pinky nude. So I think I'm gonna start with this one first. This one is like pretty much my natural color, so I think I'm just gonna stick to this one actually. So that was the Milani all natural lip liner, and then this is the Buxom Plump Shot Collagen Infused Lip Serum. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that, place that on my lips. So this is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really like the way it came out. I was a little hesitant in the beginning just because it is a true like jade minty green instead of like the olive green that I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards for holidays. So I was like, do I make it an olive green? Do I just make it this bold jade green? And I really like it, especially with the makeup. I feel like when you're doing eyeshadow first, it's kind of hard to see what the makeup look is gonna be at the end just because your face is so bare. And that's why a lot of people like to do like their face makeup and their brows first. I've always been the type of person who likes to do the eyes first just because of fallout. So it was a little hard for me to kind of like grasp what it was gonna look like, but once I put the face on, finished the eyes, and this nude lip, I absolutely love it. And I feel like I found a nice lip combination, even though I said I didn't have one. I think I just found one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you'll get notified every single time I upload and you'll never miss a video from me. Happy holidays, everyone, and I'll see you in my next video.